What we must know is that whatever struggles we are going through over Christmas, over the Christmas period, is that Allah is there to help us. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is John Fontain and welcome to this brand new series from Islamwise, where we're going to be speaking about the struggles of new Muslims around the Christmas period. SubhanAllah, I've been Muslim now for around 8 years and it's not always been easy, SubhanAllah. When I first came to Islam, I found it difficult to tell my family and friends, especially my family. At that particular time I was still living with my parents. I was about 23 years old, and SubhanAllah, it wasn't easy because at first I didn't exactly tell them I was a Muslim because I was afraid of what they would think. And so, of course, when Christmas approached, you had all the issues of Christmas and the celebrating Christmas and all the other things that come with it, such as alcohol, parties, Christmas presents, the Christmas turkey, you know, and the bacon which they wrap the food with. SubhanAllah, there's so many issues. You know, at work, people doing Secret Santa, family, friends, you name it. You know, and Christmas is not easy when you do celebrate it, never mind when you don't celebrate it. You know, Christmas is known to be one of the most depressing times of the year, especially the time after Christmas, before New Year and after New Year. You know, the January blues. It's a very depressing time, and a lot of the time it's because you've got this winter feeling. You know, the feeling of winter is very nice. You know, you wrap up warm, you have the fire going, whatever it may be. And to be honest, people all over the world appreciate winter. You know, it has a special feeling about the season. But what it is, when we're brought up with Christmas, we're associating Christmas with winter. You know, so that whole feeling of winter and the special time of winter, you know, and the special time of Christmas, we're raised with these good memories and good, you know, memories of Christmas. You know, of family coming together, fond memories of presents and gifts and food, you name it. You know, so obviously when we come to Islam as new Muslims, we have to leave certain things, and of course it might not be easy in the beginning, and in certain cases, you know, depending on your personal situation, you know, maybe you speak to a sheikh in your locality, but your personal situation might actually be different than some people. So throughout this series, SubhanAllah, I'm going to try to mention some of the difficulties that new Muslims face, such as difficulties with their family, their friends, at work, and with their children as well. Because these are the four main areas where new Muslims are actually finding it difficult over the Christmas period. Now, first of all, we must remember that why we came to Islam. You know, we came to Islam because we saw the truth in the Quran and we know the reality of the Creator Allah. And we must acknowledge that Allah and Islam is priority over every single thing. You know, on Judgment Day, ultimately this is just to remind you, on Judgment Day we're going to be standing alone. Forget our spouses, forget our children, forget our parents, you name it. On Judgment Day we're going to be standing there thinking about ourselves. Because this life is a test. And so we ultimately have to think that Islam is the priority. You know, and Allah is the priority in this whole situation. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't use wisdom in the way we act. Of course, Muslims, we simply don't celebrate Christmas. Jesus, peace be upon him, from the Islamic perspective, we don't actually know when he was born. And not to mention that in Islam we don't celebrate birthdays anyway. You know, we have two celebrations, which is the two Eids, Eid al-Adha and Eid al-Fitr. So Eid al-Fitr is the end of Ramadan. We have the big Eid, you know, to celebrate Ramadan, and then we also have Eid al-Adha, which is known as the bigger Eid, which is after the Hajj. You know, the pilgrims, the people who are not performing the Hajj, they have a big feast, you know, where they sacrifice a sheep. You know, it's a time of celebration, a time to remember the story and the test of Abraham. Now, subhanAllah, when we think about Eid, Eid really brings us back to the priority. Because Eid al-Adha and the story of Ibrahim alayhi salam, we know that his father, or his uncle, was worshipping idols. And Ibrahim alayhi salam, who is the father of monotheism, if you like, we call him the father of monotheism, the father of the three Abrahamic faiths, Jews, Christians and Muslims alike, all come together and celebrate the life. I don't mean celebrate as in having a party, but we acknowledge the status of Abraham, you know, in our religion. And Abraham really is the pinnacle of the messengers. When we look at the test that he went through, the test with his initial family of his father and his close relatives, the test with his people, you know, they tried to kill him, the test with his own children, subhanallah, Ismail, when, you know, he was told to sacrifice his son. Ibrahim really did go through all the tests, but one thing he did was he put Allah first in all of them tests. Whether it's his son, his father, you name it, he obeyed and worshipped Allah as best as he could. And what we must know is that whatever struggles we are going through over Christmas, over the Christmas period, is that Allah is there to help us. And don't despair in the mercy of Allah, and don't despair in that Allah will help you. Allah will find you a way out. Allah will make it easy for you. And it's not always easy. Know that when you become a Muslim, it's not just a straight easy ride. It does come with tests. And Allah mentions this on the lines in the Quran. He tells us, you know, that we will be tested. You know, do you think that you just accept Islam and that's it? No. You know, this life is a test, and we are meant to be tested, and we will be tested with our children, our wealth, the situations at work. Every single thing that happens to us is a test. Allah is testing us to see how we're going to react in certain situations. In the next video, I'll address a few more points and give a few more tips and advice. I hope this has been helpful. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.